Get your daily news fix. From Newsworthy's latest edition. March 22nd, get your daily news fix. From Newsworthy's latest edition. March 22nd, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and additional songs. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs from March 7th to March 13th, 2025. Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. Like Jenny by Jenny. El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, from Friday, March 7th to Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. Luther, with SZA, by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting March 18th, 2025. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Overcooked. 2. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's most popular games. Highlighting the globally top-selling and most played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, to Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, Split Fiction, REPO. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA, along with its partners, has issued a cybersecurity advisory concerning the Medusa ransomware. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Sesame CSM-1B is a speech generation model that creates RVQ audio codes from both text and audio inputs. Its architecture includes a Llama backbone and a more compact audio decoder, which outputs Mimi audio codes. A total of 67,000 white individuals from South Africa have shown their interest in the proposal put forth by Trump to grant them the status of refugees. Additionally, Trump has announced his decision to revoke an executive order that was previously aimed at the law firm Paul Weiss, following the firm's agreement to cease its diversity, equity, and inclusion hiring practices. Furthermore, Trump's Environmental Protection Agency is taking steps to prevent states from issuing warnings regarding pesticides. Trump's team is distributing a strategy for a total overhaul of foreign assistance initiatives. IBM stock price drops below a significant threshold due to Accenture's caution about a decrease in U.S. government technology spending. Trump is set to issue an executive order intended to dismantle the Education Department, with plans to remove its supervision of student loans and special education. Mariah Carey has emerged victorious in a copyright lawsuit concerning her iconic song All I Want for Christmas Is You, as a judge has decided to dismiss the case. Meanwhile, Radiohead seems to have hinted at their first tour in several years, following a ticket donation that has fueled speculation. Additionally, an Apple TV Plus documentary suggests that the legendary rock musician Jim Morrison might still be alive, possibly residing in Syracuse. The European Central Bank's chief economist has stated that the introduction of a digital euro is necessary to compete with stablecoins and the influence of large non-European technology companies. Meanwhile, in the United States, the Federal Reserve has decided to maintain its current interest rates while reducing its growth forecast for 2025. It is also reported that former President Trump is exerting pressure on the Fed to lower rates in an effort to mitigate the negative impact of tariffs. Additionally, the Securities and Exchange Commission has announced that proof-of-work cryptocurrency mining does not fall under the jurisdiction of securities laws. Ford and N+ have introduced electric bikes inspired by the Bronco and Mustang models. Additionally, LG is closing its NFT marketplace designed for televisions. Furthermore, a new food label titled Seed Oil Free Certified has been introduced. Hegseth highlights an additional $580 million in defense spending reductions led by DOGE. The New York Times has reported that the Pentagon has arranged a briefing for Elon Musk regarding the possibility of a conflict with China. In contrast, Bloomberg has stated that Donald Trump has refuted the NYT's claim that Musk will be informed about the China war strategies. Following the NYT's report on the secretive briefing about China, Elon Musk has issued threats against those who leaked information to the Pentagon. Additionally, the Pentagon plans to reinstate the Navajo code talkers on its website, with the White House attributing their previous removal to AI. Rebels supported by Rwanda have advanced in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is known for its abundant mineral resources. In a separate incident, a terrorist attack in western Niger resulted in the deaths of at least 44 civilians. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is taking steps to remove the head of domestic security due to a perceived lack of trust. The United Kingdom is contemplating reducing its technology tax as a strategy to secure an exemption from the tariffs imposed by the United States. Meanwhile, the Irish economy is facing the potential impact of U.S. tariffs, which could result in a loss of over €18 billion in trade. Additionally, the United Arab Emirates has pledged to invest $1.4 trillion in the United States, as confirmed by the White House. The measles outbreak in Texas is anticipated to persist for several months, despite an increase in vaccinations compared to the previous year. In Maryland, a proposed bill aims to exonerate individuals who were historically accused of witchcraft. Meanwhile, legendary boxing heavyweight George Foreman, renowned for his fight against Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle, has passed away at the age of 76. Finland has once more been named the happiest nation globally, while the United States has dropped to its lowest ranking ever. Meanwhile, Germany and the United Kingdom have issued travel advisories for the U.S. due to the country's growing practice of searching electronic devices at its borders. Additionally, President Trump plans to boost the production of essential minerals by utilizing wartime authorities. According to Edmunds, Tesla owners are exchanging their electric vehicles at unprecedented rates. Meanwhile, Trump proposes that individuals who vandalize Tesla vehicles be imprisoned in El Salvador. Additionally, a judge has prevented Doge from obtaining Social Security data for millions of individuals. Apple's streaming services are incurring annual losses exceeding $1 billion. Netflix has announced a new competition series titled The Golden Ticket, inspired by Willy Wonka. Additionally, NVIDIA and Google DeepMind are collaborating to provide the technology for Disney's adorable robotic creations. DoorDash has teamed up with Klarna to provide U.S. customers with the ease of flexible payment options for their grocery and retail purchases. Meanwhile, Bloomberg highlights Gen Z's strategy for more affordable lattes, which involves using TikTok and instant coffee. Additionally, Deutsche Bank has announced plans to reduce its workforce by 2,000 employees, accompanied by a substantial decrease in the number of branches. Prince William dons military attire during his visit to British soldiers stationed in Estonia. Donald Trump expresses his willingness for the United States to join the Commonwealth as an associate member. NATO plans to request a 30% increase in military capabilities from Europe and Canada. Dolphins encircled the SpaceX capsule after it splashed down in the ocean, marking the return of NASA astronauts to Earth. Iguanas are believed to have traversed the Pacific Ocean millions of years ago, embarking on an extraordinary rafting journey. Kanzi, the bonobo genius renowned for his ability to comprehend English and play Minecraft, has passed away at the age of 44. Johnson & Johnson is set to invest $55 billion in expanding its manufacturing operations within the United States. Meanwhile, AstraZeneca is committing $2.5 billion to investments in China as the pharmaceutical company aims to bounce back from recent scandals. 4 months prior, a report revealed that China had targeted AstraZeneca in a fraud investigation concerning a cancer treatment. Additionally, the World Health Organization is urging immediate action to tackle global disruptions in tuberculosis services, which are endangering the lives of millions. The United States is set to investigate Chinese telecommunications companies that it believes may present security threats, while the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, is examining whether Huawei and other Chinese companies are attempting to bypass restrictions. Additionally, a French regulatory body has instructed Eutelsat to cease transmitting Russian channels associated with a sanctioned entity. Meanwhile, Comac is intensifying its competition with Boeing and Airbus by planning to increase the production capacity of its C-919 aircraft. Medtronic has received approval from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for the groundbreaking adaptive deep brain stimulation system, designed specifically for individuals suffering from Parkinson's disease. Additionally, research indicates that the bacterium F. prosnitzii may influence the relationship between consuming citrus fruits and experiencing depression. Furthermore, studies have revealed that individuals who use cannabis are at a significantly increased risk of having a heart attack, with those under the age of 50 being more than 6 times more likely to experience such an event compared to those who do not use cannabis. NVIDIA is planning to establish a research center focused on accelerated quantum computing. Meanwhile, Tencent is reducing the speed at which it deploys GPUs, as DeepSeek assists in extracting greater performance from a smaller number of accelerators. Additionally, Cloudflare has introduced AI Labyrinth, an innovative strategy that employs AI-created content to decelerate, perplex, and deplete the resources of AI crawlers and other bots that disregard no-crawl instructions. Apple has decided to continue the series Severance with a third season. A bidding war has started for the rights to adapt the popular video game Split Fiction into a movie. Scientists have developed a new map that provides a more detailed view of an ice-free Antarctica than any previous maps. There is increasing evidence suggesting that the universe's dark energy is evolving over time. Oxygen has been identified in the farthest galaxy ever discovered. Conor McGregor has declared his candidacy for the Irish presidency, campaigning on an anti-immigration platform. Bloomberg indicates that cryptocurrency exchanges are considering a return to India as regulators suggest a potential shift in policy. Additionally, Coinbase is reportedly in advanced negotiations to acquire Deribit, a platform specializing in derivatives. Furthermore, the U.S. Treasury has lifted sanctions on Tornado Cash following a defeat in an appellate court case. Google asserts that news content holds no value for its advertising operations, following a trial that excluded 1% of search results across 8 European Union markets. Meanwhile, Meta has been observed experimenting with AI-generated comments on Instagram. Additionally, Apple is facing a lawsuit for allegedly misleading consumers with its Apple Intelligence product. The restaurant that has held a Michelin star for the longest time in the world has lost one of its stars. A Klimt portrait depicting an African prince, which had been missing, has been found and displayed at an art fair. An iceberg the size of Chicago has detached from Antarctica, exposing an ecosystem that was previously unknown. North Korea intensifies its cyber warfare efforts by establishing a new research center dedicated to developing AI-driven hacking technologies. Meanwhile, China introduces a formidable deep-sea cable cutter, which is said to have the potential to alter the global balance of power. Additionally, Donald Trump praises Boeing for its role in constructing the Air Force's upcoming F-47 fighter aircraft. Research conducted by OpenAI and MIT has identified connections between feelings of loneliness and the utilization of ChatGPT. Wired has reported that approximately 47% of the content published on Medium is considered to be of low quality, attributed to AI generation. Originality AI has revealed that more than 40% of the posts on Facebook are likely to have been created using artificial intelligence. In the United States, lawmakers are preparing a new bill that could potentially alter Section 230, which currently holds the speaker accountable for harmful speech rather than the platform hosting it. Meanwhile, X is taking legal action against India in a new battle over content removal. Additionally, Italy is requiring Google to manipulate DNS under its stringent Piracy Shield law. Google has discovered 10,000 fraudulent listings on Google Maps and has initiated legal action against a suspected group of scammers responsible for these listings. Meanwhile, Spotify has taken steps to block pornography that manages to reach the top of its podcast rankings. Additionally, Perplexity AI is expressing interest in acquiring TikTok with the intention of making its algorithm open source. They claim that they would reconstruct TikTok's algorithm and incorporate community notes features as part of this acquisition. Trump has taken the step of revoking security clearances for several prominent figures, including Biden, Harris, Clinton, and others he considers adversaries. In response to pressure from Trump, Columbia University has consented to modify its policies. The New York Times has revealed that, many years ago, Columbia University declined to pay Trump a sum of $400 million. Additionally, the Trump administration has issued a threat to halt Social Security payments unless DOJ is granted access to personal data. In the United States, the Department of Homeland Security has decided to cancel the temporary protected status for a total of 532,000 individuals from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. According to data from the United Nations International Organization for Migration, the year 2024 has been marked as the deadliest year on record for migrants, with at least 8,938 people losing their lives while traveling on migration routes across the globe. In Tunisia, the president has made the decision to dismiss the prime minister in the midst of ongoing economic challenges and a significant migration crisis. Elon Musk has been issued a court summons in a lawsuit filed by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, for allegedly not adequately disclosing his ownership stake in Twitter. Meanwhile, U.S. Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo has advised viewers of Fox News to consider purchasing Tesla stock, which has sparked concerns about ethical implications. Additionally, Elon Musk has communicated with Tesla employees, advising them to retain their shares, and has also called on vandals to cease their destructive behavior. In other news, the United States has implemented a travel ban on the former president of Argentina due to allegations of corruption. FCC Commissioner Carr has issued a warning that he may obstruct mergers and acquisitions involving companies that have diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Boxing is set to be part of the sports lineup for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. The new president of the International Olympic Committee is planning to initiate discussions regarding Russia's possible re-entry into the Olympics. ESAR Aerospace has secured an NCAA permit for its launch and is now prepared for its inaugural test flight, marking the first orbital launch vehicle flight from continental Europe. There have been remarks that China is constructing new ships at an unprecedented rate to boost its car exports, with China's 8,600 car carrier setting a new record for construction speed. A year prior, China's electric vehicle manufacturers placed a record number of ship orders to facilitate car exports. Coca-Cola has introduced the world's first hydrogen-powered vending machine at the Osaka Kansai Expo.
Get your daily news fix from NewsSourceCrawler's latest edition. March 20th, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and additional songs. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs from March 7th to March 13th, 2025. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. Like Jenny by Jenny. El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, from Friday, March 7th to Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, APT, by Rose and Bruno Mars, Luther, with SZA, by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting March 18th, 2025. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Overcooked. 2. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's most popular games. Highlighting the globally top-selling and most played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, to Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, Split Fiction, REPO. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA, along with its partners, has issued a cybersecurity advisory concerning the Medusa ransomware. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Sesame's CSM-1B is a speech generation model that creates RVQ audio codes from both text and audio inputs. Its architecture includes a Llama backbone and a more compact audio decoder, which outputs MIMI audio codes. The Kremlin has announced that Putin has consented to a temporary pause in attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Additionally, Putin is reportedly seeking a cessation of all arms deliveries to Ukraine as part of a potential truce with Trump. In a separate development, Trump proposed to Zelensky that the United States should assume control of Ukrainian power plants to enhance security. In response, Zelensky agreed to stop targeting Russian energy infrastructure during a conversation with Trump. Google has purchased the cybersecurity company Wiz for a total of $32 billion. Meanwhile, Shopify has decided to move its U.S. stock listing from the New York Stock Exchange (NYSE) to the NASDAQ. Additionally, Meta's possible relocation from Delaware has prompted the governor to hold special meetings over the weekend. 2 months prior, the Wall Street Journal reported that Meta was in discussions to rein corporate in Texas or another state, potentially leaving Delaware. France warns of retaliation following Algeria's rejection of deportees. Peru announces an emergency and sends the army to the capital amid rising violence. M23 rebels exit Congo peace talks due to EU sanctions. Congo and Rwanda presidents convene in Qatar to address the Eastern Congo insurgency, with DR Congo and Rwanda urging a ceasefire in their discussions. Shakespeare's birthplace is set to undergo decolonization due to concerns about white supremacy. Elon Musk describes Tesla protesters as deranged, suggesting they wish to harm him because of his involvement with the White House. Additionally, a site called DogeQuest alleges it is exposing Tesla owners throughout the United States. Ben & Jerry's has leveled accusations against its parent company, Unilever, claiming that the CEO was removed against their will because of the company's social mission. Gazprom, once a dominant force in Russia, is now liquidating its upscale properties following a reported $12.9 billion loss. Meanwhile, the UK is aspiring to take a leadership role in climate finance, stepping in as the US retracts from its commitments. Additionally, the chief executive of COP30 has issued a stern warning that nations need to intensify their climate initiatives or face the potential for conflict. The creator of Andor has decided not to release the episode scripts to the public, citing concerns that they might be utilized to train artificial intelligence software. He expressed his reluctance by saying, "Why help the FING robots?" Meanwhile, academics are criticizing AI startups for allegedly exploiting the peer review process to gain publicity. Just a week ago, Sakana announced that its AI-generated paper successfully passed peer review. Additionally, The Independent is set to introduce a new news service that will be supported by Google AI. AI is significantly enhancing organized crime activities, according to a warning from the EU police agency. A U.S. appeals court has dismissed copyrights for AI-generated art that does not have a human creator. The Italian newspaper Il Foglio has released the first edition entirely generated by AI. Mars might contain a vast ocean of water underground, according to seismic data. Dust devils on Mars generate lightning-like electrical discharges. Scientists have produced strong, flexible nylon using engineered bacteria for the first time. Pursuing happiness can negatively affect limited resources and self-regulation. OpenAI warns that China might force DeepSeek to engage in harmful activities and advocates for a ban. Mark Zuckerberg announces that Meta's Llama models have achieved 1 billion downloads. NVIDIA introduces Isaac GR00TN1, the first open humanoid robot foundation model, along with simulation frameworks to accelerate robot development, enhancing generalized skills and reasoning in humanoid robots. NVIDIA, Google DeepMind, and Disney Research collaborate to create a next-generation open-source Newton physics engine. LEGO Pokémon will be available, with the initial sets expected in 2026. A procession of 897 dachshunds in Germany has set a new Guinness World Record. Marina Abramovic is planning to launch a 950-piece NFT collection. Trump's letter to Iran set a 2-month deadline for a new nuclear agreement. A week ago, a UAE official handed over a letter from Trump to Iran, encouraging nuclear discussions. Reuters indicates that the U.S. is pausing certain activities to combat Russian sabotage as Trump's relationship with Putin becomes more apparent. The Pentagon plans to reduce up to 60,000 civilian positions through buyouts and natural attrition. NVIDIA's CEO, Huang, emphasizes that developing faster chips is the most effective method to lower AI expenses. He noted that AI currently requires 100 times more computation compared to the time of ChatGPT's release, which was just 1 month ago. Additionally, NVIDIA, along with Musk's xAI, is set to collaborate with Microsoft, BlackRock, and MGX to advance AI infrastructure. Furthermore, NVIDIA plans to invest hundreds of billions in the U.S. supply chain, according to its chief. Trump is set to announce that illicit fentanyl will be classified as a weapon of mass destruction, according to a draft executive order. Meanwhile, Bloomberg has commented that the shutdown of Trump's app is actually beneficial to Mexico's cartels. Additionally, Chinese state media has praised Trump's reductions in funding for the Voice of America, with budget cuts to both the Voice of America and Radio Free Asia being met with approval from Chinese state media, who describe the cuts as discarding them like a dirty rag. Vance criticizes globalization for obstructing American innovation. The European Union accuses Apple and Google of unfair practices, potentially provoking Trump. Google's Search and Play Store violate the Digital Markets Act rules, according to the EU, which also outlines how Apple must allow competitors access to its technology under the bloc's digital regulations. Europe aims to improve the compatibility of non-Apple smartwatches with iPhones. Speculation suggests that the EU's new charges against Google could result in fines of at least $35 billion. Apple argues that the EU's interoperability requirements provide unrestricted access to the iPhone, jeopardizing customer security and privacy. Bangladesh apprehends the head of a Rohingya insurgent group on criminal allegations. Turkish law enforcement detains the mayor of Istanbul, a significant adversary of President Erdogan, amid intensifying government measures. An authoritarian crackdown results in 42,000 Kuwaitis being deprived of their nationality. Russian state asserts ownership of $28.7 billion in assets, according to the prosecutor. In the UK, the Department for Work and Pensions has confirmed changes to major PIP, personal independence payments, and universal credit benefits. Kendall has announced a crackdown on benefits, aiming to save £5 billion annually by 2030. Experts warn that up to 1.2 million disabled individuals could lose thousands due to the UK welfare overhaul. Chuck Schumer attributes the increase in left-wing anti-Semitism to the 2008 crisis and the wokeism of the radical fringe in his new book. London's iconic black cabs face the threat of disappearing within 2 decades, according to a warning from Transport for London. Meanwhile, the BMW art car collection marks its 50th anniversary with a worldwide tour. Additionally, Tesla takedown protesters are gearing up for what they claim will be the largest day of action. The European Union has decided to exclude the United States from its massive defense strategy. 2 weeks prior, the EU leader introduced an €800 billion initiative aimed at strengthening Europe's military capabilities, while France announced plans to reopen its 4th nuclear airbase as part of this rapid rearmament effort. Meanwhile, feeling threatened by President Trump, Canada is preparing to integrate into the EU's military industry expansion. Mark Carney has stated that Canada will invest $6 billion in a missile detection system to address threats posed by Russia and China. Additionally, the Trump administration is contemplating relinquishing the NATO command, a position that has been held solely by the United States since the time of President Eisenhower. A significant report cautions that the global climate is entering unknown areas. In 2024, the UN reports that over 150 unprecedented climate disasters occurred worldwide. Greenpeace is ordered to pay $667 million to the company managing the Dakota Access Pipeline for defamation. Numerous individuals deported by Trump's administration as alleged gang members reportedly lacked criminal records in the United States, according to ICE. The Department of Justice claims that Trump theoretically possesses the authority to remove all female heads of agencies or those over the age of 40. In the United States, scientists report that NIH officials instructed them to eliminate mRNA references from their grant applications. Netanyahu criticizes the leftist deep state following Qatargate arrests, claiming it uses the justice system against strong right-wing leaders in Israel and the U.S. In Qatargate, an Israeli businessman alleges he gave money from a Qatar lobbyist to Netanyahu's spokesperson. The UK retracts its statement that Israel's Gaza aid blockade is illegal, and the UK's Royal Television Society reverses its decision, now planning to award journalists in Gaza after industry pressure. In the US, the Justice Department and FBI establish a new task force to focus on Hamas following the October 7 attack. Wall Street Journal indicates that Kraken, a cryptocurrency exchange, is close to a $1.5 billion agreement for its futures trading division. XRP experiences a 10% surge following Garlinghouse's statement that the SEC is abandoning its case against Ripple. Backed shares experience a significant decline after losing agreements with B of A and Webull. Clearview AI, a facial recognition company, reportedly tried to purchase social security numbers and mugshots to expand its database. The company allegedly collected 30 billion images from platforms like Facebook and shared them with law enforcement, effectively placing everyone in a perpetual police lineup. Meanwhile, Meta has pledged to reduce false content and deepfakes in anticipation of the Australia election. Additionally, the Wall Street Journal noted that the conflict-ridden Congo has proposed a deal for Trump: eliminate rebels and receive minerals. This follows a report from 1 month ago stating that Congo offered minerals to the US and Europe in exchange for peace. Budgerigar brains possess a vocal sound map similar to that of humans. A new study suggests that substituting butter with certain plant oils could substantially reduce the risk of death. New research raises concerns about a potential link between tattoo ink and an increased risk of cancer. Limp Bizkit's $200 million lawsuit proceeds as judge rejects Universal Music Group's dismissal motion. 4 months prior, Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit initiated a $200 million lawsuit against Universal Music, alleging unpaid royalties. Universal Music argued that the lawsuit is based on a fallacy and sought its dismissal. Norway Wealth Fund acquires a £570 million stake in Covent Garden. Of the Big Bang Theory spin-off receives a title focusing on Stewart. Donald Trump suggests that Canada should have been the 51st state, calling it nasty. The Bulwark remarks that Trump's desire for Canada is similar to Putin's longing for Ukraine. Additionally, Germany revises U.S. travel guidance following the detention of its citizens. Meanwhile, a French scientist is barred from entering the U.S. due to phone messages that were critical of Trump. Video game workers unite with Communications Workers of America. Novak Djokovic's Players Union initiates legal proceedings against tennis authorities. Vanity Fair notes Christianity's shift from being borderline illegal to the new religion in Silicon Valley. Razer introduces the WYVRN platform for game developers, featuring an automated AI bug tester. General Motors plans to implement NVIDIA AI chips and software to automate vehicles and factory operations. Chinese cities are adopting DeepSeek-powered services to enhance smart governance. Telegram's creator, Pavel Durov, announces that the app has reached 1 billion users and criticizes WhatsApp as a cheap, watered-down imitation. Google permits children to use Google Wallet for in-store purchases in certain nations. Huawei introduces a $1,000 foldable device that will operate on its self-created Harmony OS 5, as it promotes an alternative to Apple and Google. Counterpoint indicates a 12% annual decrease in the global VR market in 2024, with AR plus AI smart glasses expected to dominate in 2025. Bloomberg suggests that Oracle is considering a security backstop and a minor stake to secure a TikTok deal. SoftBank plans to acquire Ampere, a Silicon Valley chip startup, for $6.5 billion. Microsoft partners with a Swiss startup to create AI that mimics the human brain. Colorado, in the U.S., is now authorized to grant licenses to facilitators of psychedelic mushroom therapy. A review indicates that merely 10% of non-surgical treatments for back issues effectively alleviate pain. Europe is seeking to attract researchers from the United States due to funding reductions under Trump's administration. Additionally, the Trump administration has temporarily halted $175 million in federal funding to the University of Pennsylvania because of its policy allowing transgender athletes to participate in women's sports. Meanwhile, Hungary's parliament has enacted a law prohibiting LGBTQ+ pride events. Cyberscoop indicates that infostealers were responsible for cyber attacks and collected 2.1 billion credentials in 2024. The UK Cyber Agency proposes a 2035 deadline for transitioning to quantum-safe encryption, cautioning against potential threats. China's Baidu refutes allegations of a data breach following the unauthorized disclosure of personal information by an executive's daughter. Poland and the Baltic countries are considering exiting the landmine treaty. Meanwhile, Italy and Spain are not yet prepared to back the allocation of €40 billion in military assistance to Ukraine. Additionally, Denmark's Prime Minister has cautioned EU leaders that J.D. Vance made a valid point regarding migration. Amtrak CEO resigns amid privatization threats from Trump and Musk. According to Bloomberg, Trump is enamored with AI, yet his tariffs increase expenses for data centers. A dismissed FTC commissioner cautions against the corrupting influence of billionaires. OpenAI has launched the O1 Pro API, which is its priciest product to date, designed specifically for developers. Meanwhile, Stability AI is in the process of developing the Stable Virtual Camera, a model that is still in the research preview stage. This innovative multi-view diffusion model has the capability to convert two-dimensional images into captivating three-dimensional videos, complete with realistic depth and perspective. Additionally, Tencent is presenting open-source AI models that have the potential to transform written text into three-dimensional visuals.
Get your daily news fix from newsworthy's latest edition. March 18, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Number 1 hit and additional songs. YouTube Music Charts, Global Top Songs from March 7 to March 13, 2025. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. Like Jenny by Jenny. El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, from Friday, March 7 to Thursday, March 13, 2025. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, APT by Rose and Bruno Mars, Luther, with SZA, by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. Nintendo US Digital Top Sellers starting March 18, 2025. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Overcooked. 2. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Steam's most popular games. Highlighting the globally top-selling and most played games on Steam. Based on the top 100 products by revenue list, for the period from Tuesday, March 4, 2025, to Tuesday, March 11, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, Split Fiction, REPO. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA, along with its partners, has issued a cybersecurity advisory concerning the Medusa ransomware. One more drop in the ocean of AI. Sesame CSM-1B is a speech generation model that creates RVQ audio codes from both text and audio inputs. Its architecture includes a Llama backbone and a more compact audio decoder, which outputs Mimi audio codes. Conor McGregor's remarks on immigration at the White House have been criticized by the Irish Prime Minister. McGregor has expressed dissatisfaction with Ireland, labeling it an illegal immigration racket. Newsweek notes that the White House is celebrating St. Patrick's Day with a fighter who has been found guilty of civil rape. Meanwhile, Axios reports that MAGA supporters are already considering Vance for the 2028 presidential race. A month ago, The Hill mentioned that Vance is a strong favorite to succeed Trump in the PAC straw poll. Additionally, a French MEP has suggested returning the Statue of Liberty to the U.S., but the White House said it will not return the Statue of Liberty to France. In the United States, supporters of the MAGA movement are promoting the notion of pardoning Derek Chauvin. Meanwhile, the District of Columbia has dismissed a lawsuit against the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers concerning the January 6 attack. Additionally, the author of Project 2025 expresses that Trump's embrace of his ideas surpasses his most extraordinary expectations. A nightclub fire in North Macedonia results in the deaths of 59 individuals and injuries to more than 150 people, A farmer from Peru sues the German energy company RWE due to the melting of glaciers. Apple's appeal against German antitrust regulations is unsuccessful, potentially leading to increased oversight. Iran rejects allegations of supporting Yemen's Houthi rebels following U.S. military actions and Trump's warning. Houthis initiate missile and drone assaults on U.S. warships near Yemen's shoreline. U.S. strikes reportedly eliminated several Houthi leaders, according to National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, who also states that all possibilities are considered to prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon. A federal report reveals that an increasing number of Americans with college degrees are holding multiple jobs. Previously, it was noted that over half of college graduates are employed in positions that do not necessitate a degree. Bloomberg highlighted that airlines and retailers in the U.S. are presenting a gloomy forecast for consumer demand. Additionally, Ferrari reports that its car buyers are becoming younger, with the CEO stating that 40% of new clients are now under the age of 40. Lastly, Harvard announced that tuition will be free for families earning $200,000 or less. Myanmar military airstrike results in the deaths of 27 individuals and injuries to 30 in a resistance stronghold. Georgia imposes an additional sentence of 4.5 years on former President Saakashvili for unlawfully crossing the border. Rwanda and Belgium expel each other's diplomatic representatives due to the ongoing conflict in the Congo. A coalition of European tech industry leaders is urging for radical action to enhance digital sovereignty, beginning with a focus on purchasing local products. According to Bloomberg, Turkey is considering new regulations for big tech companies that could lead to a conflict with the United States. Meanwhile, Canada's new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, has declared that the country will never, ever become part of the U.S., as he aims to build alliances in Europe. Additionally, President Macron is advocating for the EU to prioritize European defense suppliers over those from the United States. Kanye West releases a new track reportedly including Diddy, From Prison, Northwest, and Christian King Combs. Disney reduces the scale of the Snow White Hollywood premiere due to controversies involving Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, with the stars Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler experiencing tension over the Israel-Palestine conflict. Suzanne Collins' editor suggests that a Hunger Games sequel is unlikely to happen. Crypto exchange OKX halts DeFi service amid EU investigation, freezing Web3 platform following Bybit thieves laundering $100 million. Klarna, approaching IPO, secures profitable Walmart fintech partnership from competitor Affirm. PepsiCo plans to acquire prebiotic soda brand Poppi for approximately $2 billion. Trump's World Liberty Financial Crypto Initiative announced the sale of $550 million worth of tokens. The Washington Examiner quotes Musk as claiming that Democrats spent $200 billion to purchase votes from illegal immigrants. Meanwhile, China and the UK have committed to collaborating on climate change issues, with a Chinese economist urging decisive action to step into the climate leadership void. The Trump administration has restarted the detention of immigrant families following a pause during the Biden era. Eric Prince, the former CEO of Blackwater, asserts that the government requires assistance from the private sector to carry out deportations. Additionally, Doge has been granted access to the U.S. Institute of Peace following an overhaul of the board by the Trump administration. South Korea's chip exports to China decrease due to stricter U.S. controls. Alphabet creates a Starlink competitor called Tara. Elon Musk's Starlink extends its coverage throughout the White House complex. Trump mentions that discussions with Putin will address the division of certain assets between Russia and Ukraine. He is reportedly considering recognizing Crimea as Russian territory to try and end the war. Newsweek notes that Putin's most significant allies in Europe are encountering political challenges. Kyiv Independent suggests that Germany's military resurgence is Europe's strongest hope against Putin. The United States plans to withdraw from the group examining the responsibility for the Ukraine invasion. Israel has restarted its military operations in Gaza, conducting extensive airstrikes targeting Hamas. According to reports, several hundred individuals have lost their lives in Gaza due to these widespread strikes. Additionally, the White House informed Fox News that Israel sought advice from the United States regarding its actions in Gaza. In a notable development, Hamas prime minister and other senior terrorists were reportedly killed in an unexpected attack by the Israel Defense Forces. Trump asserts that Biden's pardons for the January 6 committee are invalid due to the use of an autopen. An appeals court temporarily permits the Trump administration to implement a ban on DEI programs. In the United States, segregated facilities are no longer explicitly prohibited in federal contracts. BYD introduces a battery system capable of charging EVs in just 5 minutes. Meanwhile, Audi is cutting 7,500 jobs and seems to be moving away from its EV-only strategy. Additionally, it was reported a month ago that Tesla's board chair has sold the majority of her shares in the company. 404 media comments describe AI slop as a crude assault on the algorithms governing reality. Numerous actors and Hollywood insiders have joined in an open letter, pleading with the government to refrain from easing copyright laws for AI. Apple's Siri chief has labeled AI delays as unsightly and humiliating, assuring that solutions are forthcoming. Zoom AI Companion enhances its capabilities throughout the Zoom platform by employing reasoning and memory to initiate actions and manage task execution, including conversational self-service and custom agent development. Over 45 new innovations have been unveiled. According to Adobe Analytics, Etsy and eBay are striving to replicate social media with highly personalized shopping experiences, as traffic to U.S. retail websites from generative AI sources has surged by 1,200%. Roblox is launching Roblox Cube, its fundamental generative AI system designed for 3D and 4D environments. A recent study has discovered that exposure to heat can accelerate aging to a similar extent as smoking. Engaging in frequent blood donations encourages the regeneration of blood cells by facilitating genetic adaptation. Research indicates that marriage increases the risk of obesity in men by threefold, although this effect is not observed in women. Akira ransomware can be decrypted using 16 RTX 4090 GPUs within approximately 10 hours. A significant PostgreSQL bug is linked to a zero-day attack on the U.S. Treasury. Consumer Reports, U.S. PIRG, Secure Resilient Future Foundation, and the Center for Democracy and Technology have introduced the Connected Consumer Products End-of-Life Disclosure Act to tackle IoT security concerns. Google collaborates with MediaTek to produce more affordable AI chips. Intel achieves a significant milestone with the initial production of 1.8 nm class wafers at its Arizona facility. Huawei is advancing in computer chip development as it distances itself from Intel and Windows. With the expiration of its Windows license for Huawei PCs, HarmonyOS may emerge as a potential alternative. Discord introduces an SDK to enhance social infrastructure and communication for games. Google transforms its Play Games app for PC into a competitor to Steam, while expanding PC game support and launching a new earnback initiative. In the UK, Ofcom declares the enforcement of the Online Safety Act, mandating platforms to begin addressing illegal material immediately. Amazon intends to eliminate 14,000 managerial roles to achieve a yearly savings of $3.5 billion. The 12-foot Twitter bird logo, originally located at the San Francisco headquarters, is being auctioned. The U.S. Postal Service is reaching out to Doge for assistance with retail leases and counterfeit postage. Young people's risky media use is significantly higher, up to 50 times more, than their cannabis and alcohol consumption. Scientists employed mosquitoes to administer malaria vaccines. Married men are increasingly involved in cleaning and laundry compared to previous years. In Japan, a robot hand has been created using muscles grown from human-derived cells. A novel approach to Parkinson's treatment involves real-time deep brain stimulation. A new theory proposes that gravity might originate from entropy, potentially leading to a unified theory of physics, as gravity could emerge from the quantum nature of space. Restoration shows Churchill painting is 100 years older than listed. Research indicates that Greek and Roman statues were not only painted and decorated with textiles and jewelry but also perfumed. Matt Richtman becomes the first American man to win the Los Angeles Marathon in 31 years. U.S. Commerce Department bureaus prohibit the use of China's DeepSeek on government devices, according to sources. Baidu unveils its initial reasoning model, ERNIE X1, amid intensifying AI competition. China's Vidu and Aura Productions announce a collaboration to premiere a sci-fi series featuring AI-generated anime shorts.